Hey fellow nerds, it's me Ian from the Nerd Room, and I'm back again with another figure review. You might have heard me talking about this one on the recent Nerd Room live stream that we did recently on YouTube. If you haven't checked that out, go and give that a listen or give that a watch. We had a great discussion about the expense of toys these days. And yeah, if you like action figures, if you like toys, you'll find that very interesting. However, I did talk about this toy especially because of the expense factor. This is the 1000 Toys re-edit Halo Infinite 1/12 scale Master Chief with the Mjolnir Mark 6 Generation 3 armor. 1000 Toys are not such a famous company. I think they're a third-party company, and usually they release figures which I think are called synthetics, usually like cyborgs and stuff. I don't think they've done many other characters that are famous. However, I have been chasing this one for quite some time, and this is actually very hard to find. This is, I think, the second or third reissue of this figure. Once this thing hits the resale market, it is crazy expensive at maybe 3-4 times the price. I just got really lucky. I walked into a store and there was a couple left on the shelves and I managed to grab one. Now I did pay retail for this, so I'm happy about that, but it wasn't cheap. It was, I think I paid 15,000 yen, so that's about $100 American, 150 Canadian. So yeah, as you can tell, for a 1/12 scale figure, that is a little pricey. So let's see if this figure is actually worth the money and it's worth all the hype that it's been getting. Let's have a closer look at this figure. I'm a big Halo fan, so I'm pretty excited about this. So this figure is actually pretty light. I was quite surprised. Even when I picked up the box, I thought it was much lighter than I was expecting. The plastic that they use is a very light hollow plastic, but as you can see, it looks pretty damn cool. The detailing on this thing is really nice, and I really like that shade of green that they've used there. We get a visor on the top here with some clear plastic. So yeah, the attention to detail is there. It does look really good. We have these flappy shoulders. Now I'll talk about that a little later. I don't know what they were kind of trying to do with that. I think they could have done that a little better. However, the articulation on this thing is really good. You can see it gets some decent range there on the arms, and I love what they've done here, just how this connects. The lower arm just comes out from that piece, so it does look like there's an arm underneath, and there aren't any visible joints here, any pegs or anything, so it does look very realistic and it does look really cool. I do like what they've done there. Going down here to the hands, there's some motion there, not much, and you can see there's a little gap there, but that gap does help when he's holding his weapons, so it can hold them to the side. And looking at the back, yeah, again, some nice details. It's really cool how these shoulder joints come out. It reminds me a lot of the stuff you get from 3-0, especially the bigger scale stuff. Comes out there, and Bandai also do some good stuff like this with their larger figures like the Hulk too, so I love that they've taken that on board. Also the back piece that comes up and down here, very much like the 3-0 Optimus Prime. I really like that spine detail that tucks into the back there. The range on the front there is not so great. You can't crunch much, but I mean, this is an armored suit. I'm pretty sure Master Chief John can't crunch in his big metal suit, so yeah, what do you expect? I think that's perfectly acceptable. You get some motion on the legs there, they twist there and there, and again some really nice range on the legs just with the double joints at the top and the bottom there. And it looks like again there's a leg underneath. There are no visible pegs or joints, so again it does look very realistic. It does look pretty damn cool. The feet, however, don't have much range on them there just because of the design. You can't get much out of that. It does affect when standing him. You can turn them to the side there, but yeah, that up and down movement is very limited. Some other cool features, this slides down here, so you can actually stick a gun into the hole there, so you can have his guns hanging off the side of his legs on both sides. So I think it's good that you can have this guy posed with guns without him having to hold them. Okay, so let's have a look now at the paint application. We do have some weathering here. There's like a blast mark or a scratch there, but that's it on the whole piece. There's no other weathering on this thing. The only paint application is that green with some other decals. We have that here I'm not sure if that scuff or that blast mark is something from the game, because I've never played Halo Infinite. So yeah, I probably would have liked to have seen a bit more weathering and paint work done to this figure. I've never really seen Master Chief in a clean suit before, so you know, a black wash over the whole thing, bring out the line work a little, add a bit of texture to the armor to make it look, you know, like it's made of metal, has some damage maybe to the back and to the rest of the armor. It still looks great as it is, but yeah, it probably would have benefited from, you know, just a little bit of detailing here and there with some maybe blast marks, some scratches. It's definitely something I'll consider adding in the future. So on to the accessories. First off, we have here the Type 1 plasma sword. Now this is very famous from the game. This is one of the swords used by the Covenant, and you do get to use this sword as a weapon. And as you can see, it's really nice, the different blues that you have on there and that really nice shine. It does give it a plasma look, and I do really like the look of this piece. So next up we have the M90 shotgun. This was one of my favorite weapons in the game, especially when having to fight the Flood. We have this extra piece here that comes out to attach it to the legs, and overall the weapon looks pretty damn cool. I like the dark grey and the black differences there. It makes it look more realistic. Some little features there with the touch of yellow. So yeah, I'm pretty impressed with how this has turned out. So finally is the assault rifle. Now this is the MA40. I would have loved an MA5. I'm guessing that's not in Halo Infinite. But yeah, still this assault rifle looks really nice, just like the shotgun. The greys and the blacks. The paint application is nice and neat. This will pose nicely with the energy sword. The only other accessories that come with it are the hands. We do get a good selection, some trigger fingers. We've got some hands here for holding the swords on both sides. We got these for saluting here, again left and right, and some open hands there. But that's it. And last of all is the instruction manual. I'll just show you this. There is nothing to this. It doesn't really teach you much that you wouldn't be able to figure out already. So let's get the figure back, and we're going to just have a play around with this now. Let's see what he looks like in different poses. Let's see if there are any restrictions or if there are any issues when trying to get this guy in some different looks. Now here he is in a very normal stance, looking to the side with an assault rifle, and you can see he's a little bit wobbly. This is because of the design of the suit and the feet. Because this part here touches the top, there's not much articulation there, so it's a little harder to have him in a side pose and have the feet flat. A toe bend there might have helped with that situation, but it's not too bad, and a stand could help with that. The other thing is just this gap here. Now I don't know why they've designed it this way. These little flaps here, these shoulder guards, are attached to the arm. Other companies, especially Bandai, tend to put it here at the top, and they have it going up and down on this joint. However, having it at the bottom here, you just have this big space. In most poses it's not that noticeable, but I don't know the reason for having these arm guards like this. It doesn't seem to serve any purpose. So now it's playtime, so let's have some fun. So is this figure worth it? Well, I guess that comes down to your opinions as a collector. Are you a big Halo fan? Are you willing to pay the price tag for this thing? It is pretty lightweight and there's not that much weathering or texturing to it. But you know what, from my point of view, this is a beautiful figure and a fantastic release. So I'm super happy I picked this up, and the more I play around with it, the more I fall in love with it. It looks absolutely fantastic in my display. Now some people will think that that price tag is a little too steep, but I think people are going to realize that this is a much smaller company, so they've got to charge more to get their feet off the ground. I have owned other Master Chief Halo figures before, especially from Jazwares and NECA, but none of them come anywhere close to this in terms of quality and posability. Yes, they are much cheaper, but you have to pay extra if you really want that quality figure. Taking everything into consideration, do I recommend this figure? Well, let's ask Cortana.
Yes.